Hey guys, I'm Ben. This is the Minuteman Prep YouTube channel. I'm testing running these Apollo solar generators. I'm running an air conditioner right now, but what I'm testing is the difference in power. Power means watts. The difference in watts that are coming into the Apollo using a 12 gauge cable versus an 8 gauge cable. Now 10 gauge is the standard for solar cable or PV wire, PV standing for photovoltaics. And 10 AWG, which is American wire gauge, 10 AWG or 10 gauge wire is what's pretty much used for solar bar none. That is the standard. So I wanted to do a test using 12 gauge because 12 gauge is rated to like 20 amps and the 8 gauge I believe is rated to 30 amps. So I'm just doing a test to see how this performs. I've already done this test, but I want to take you along with me. So I ran the 12 gauge wire. This is 115 feet because I have 15-foot extensions on the other end of this. And then here I've got 8 gauge wire. And when I did my initial test on the 8 gauge wire at 100 feet, I had 345 volts before starting the load. And then I had 279 volts after starting the load at 12 amps. And then on the 12 gauge at 115 feet, it was 344 volts, so 1 volt less than the 8 gauge. And after I turned on the load, it's at 277 volts, which is 2 volts less than the 8 gauge at 12.2 amps, which is 0.2 amps more than the 12 gauge. Anyway, that's what I just got. And basically it's 1.6 watts or something like that of difference, with the 12 gauge actually bringing in more power, which doesn't make sense at all. So I'm going to bring you through this and show you exactly what I'm doing and see what results we find on using 12 gauge versus 10 gauge for this 100-foot run on the Apollo solar generator, doing a high voltage test. Let me show you my setup right now. Right now, what I have is this 12 gauge wire, which is 100 feet long, and on the other end of it I have a 15-foot extension so that way I can reach the ends of the solar panels. And I have this 2-to-1 branch connector right here, and having these open ends here allows me to take my voltmeter and take the probes and stick them in here and actually see what voltage is going through. So this is basically my spyglass to be able to see what voltage is going through here. And I'm going to get a voltage reading using the 12 gauge wire. And then what I do is I take my clamp meter, put it on the DC amperage setting, hit the yellow button to zero it out. By the way, this Fluke meter, the 393FC, is freaking awesome. This is the industrial grade one. It can do up to like 1500 volts. That's 1500 volts. And anyway, absolutely awesome. Definitely check it out if you're looking for a very, very high-end voltmeter. Clamp meter, whatever you want to call it. So let's go ahead and get this started. As far as the Apollo goes, this one's at 98%, this one's at 97%. I've got no PV coming in. I've got 1,360 watt load going out. And these are connected together in a multi-mode. So when I go into the settings here and I go into parallel mode, it's in multi, which means these two are working together in order to have output. So right now I'm just doing this test to see how it goes, and I'll show you the solar input of how this works. The Apollo has an MPPT charge controller, which is a maximum power point tracking. It's basically a computer that converts solar panel energy into battery energy. And the computer part is that the maximum power point tracking can actually change the amps and the volts a little bit, so that way it gets more watts in. So if it needs more voltage, it can raise that. If it needs more amperage, it can adjust that. So that's what we're gonna see here. So right now, I have 10 solar panels, 10 400-watt solar panels on a temporary array outside. You can see that right here. This is just treated lumber, and this is just a temporary one while I get my permanent one shipped to me. But I've got this 8 gauge cable right here, and then you can see kind of that pink one, that is the 12 gauge, and the 12 gauge is what's connected right now. So I had to use a 15-foot extension over here to be able to reach the 100-foot 12 gauge to that last panel over there. But this is the setup. I want to see everything's here, perfectly clear sunny day. These are the solar conditions we're working in. There you see there's the sun. There are no clouds in the sky, and it is 2:11 in the afternoon. Now, because the Apollo uses high voltage, they include this breaker, which is awesome. Green means you're safe. Red means you have power coming in. So we're gonna hear a beep here in just a second. Well, actually, let me turn that off and just start from the beginning. I'm gonna go ahead and put these probes in here. So those are in. We're gonna go to DC voltage. You can see we're getting 343 volts right now. So this is my VOC number. I'm gonna write this down. We're at 34, I'm gonna do 343 volts. VOC stands for open circuit voltage. It's the voltage the panels are making before they're actually outputting any amperage, which means that they're not actually outputting energy just yet. So then we're gonna do our load. So 343 to start. And we're gonna watch here, as I flip this, I'm gonna turn this on. In a second, we'll hear it beep. And then this voltage is gonna start to fluctuate greatly. And that's the MPPT working with the solar panels to start bringing in amperage to start charging the Apollos. There's the beep. Already dropping to 331. And this will go down all the way to like 270-ish. 307, 297, 267, 272. And this will take upwards of like 30 seconds to really settle. So it keeps buzzing right around 276. Well, we'll call it 275. See, now it's 276. And it keeps going a little bit higher and then a little bit lower. So I'm going to say 276. And then to get my amperage rating, I'm going to switch this to DC amps. I'm going to clear it. I'm going to put this around the red cable. We're getting 12.1 amps. And remember, the 12 gauge cable is actually 115 feet, whereas the 8 gauge is 100. So it's pretty much an identical comparison, but there is that slight favor to the 8 gauge cable because it's a little bit shorter. Keep that in mind. So now I'm gonna turn this off. So I've got no solar input going into the Apollos. So now I've got my 8 gauge onto the 2-to-1 splitter right here. We're not connected to this yet. I've got to go switch the cables. I'm gonna go do that really quick. I'm gonna turn this on to volts DC. Get plugged in right here. And we are at 344.6 volts. I'm gonna round that up to 345 because of that 0.6, just to keep things simple. Started the test 6 minutes ago. No, it's actually closer to 344. So I'm gonna adjust this. Just taking my notes here, down to 344 is closer to where we're starting. Load, I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the solar input. There's the beep. And now we're dropping, 327. So this is actually the reason why so many people have issues with their EcoFlow Delta Pros. The Delta Pro is rated to 150 volts, which is great. But that's VOC, so they advertise being able to have 1600 watts of solar input. But the only way you can do that is with 400 watt solar panels. Doing it with 200 watt solar panels, the voltage actually gets too high. You exceed the 150 volts. The operating voltage, or which is called your VMP, or volts at max power, the VMP is basically your voltage after the unit starts using its MPPT charge controller. And that voltage, you can use 200 watt solar panels and be below 150 volts to reach 1600 watts input. But you can't actually do that because your VOC before you turn on the MPPT is higher than 150 volts when you first connect, and therefore it doesn't allow the MPPT to turn on because it's above 150 volts, even though after you would turn on the MPPT, it would go below that. Kind of an interesting thing. So now we're at about 284, 282. So it's fluctuating around here. I'm gonna say 281 volts to call it. Yeah, see, it keeps fluctuating. We'll say about 280. And then we're gonna do our amp reading. We're getting 11.9 amps. So here's how it breaks down. On the first test, the 8 gauge wire was 1 volt higher on the open circuit voltage and 2 volts higher on the load voltage. And then it was 0.2 amps less, meaning more efficient, because the lower amps you have, the less heat the cables are going to build up. So that was the 8 gauge. And then on the 12 gauge, which is a longer cable, which means we should have more resistance, and because it's skinnier, we should have less room for all of that energy to move. So again, all the more resistance. It started 1 volt less than the 8 gauge and 2 volts less after the load was turned on, but it was 0.2 amps higher. So if we do 12 divided by 12.2, so that would be 1.6% difference in the efficiency of the cables between 12 gauge and 8 gauge. So the real question is the 8 gauge worth it? to get 1.6% more efficiency. But that's not the full answer, because even though it's using less amps to send more energy, which is what you want, the watts are nearly identical. So let's do 280 volts times 11.9 amps. 280 volts times 11.9 amps, volts times amps equals watts. That's 3332. That was on the 8 gauge, 3332 watts. And then on the 12 gauge, it was 276 at 12.1. So 276 times 12.1. 339.6. I'm going to round that up for easy math. That's 3340. So there was actually an 8-watt difference between the 8 gauge and the 12 gauge. And the 12 gauge was the one that had more watts coming in. This makes no sense at all, because it's a skinnier cable. It was longer than the 8 gauge, and so it should have more difficulty sending the energy through the line. So 3,332 divided by 3,340 would be a 0.24% difference. So a 1/4% difference in the power equals watts, that actually reached the Apollo here. So the reality is, using a 100-foot cable with 10 400-watt panels, there's only an 8-watt difference, and it favored the skinnier cable. There's no real difference. You're still better off going with the 10-gauge cable. That's what you should use. That way you can carry more energy with less resistance. But I think this answers the question here live right in front of you, just showing the differences between these cables, and that it's really not that big of a deal. Many people are concerned about running their wires over a long distance, and yes, you're going to have voltage loss, you're going to have more resistance. That is very real. But at a 100-foot distance, an 8-watt difference is indistinguishable. That is basically nothing. So I don't think that it really matters at this distance. Now, if we stretch it up to 400 feet, I assume that we would see the 12-gauge wire do a little bit poorer than the 8-gauge wire, but I don't have a 400-foot 12-gauge wire and a 400-foot 8-gauge wire. If you want to see a video like that, I need you to comment down below saying, give us the video of a 400-foot test. Because I can do that test, I just need to know, because I will have to go buy those cables and do that. So if you want to see it, I need you to comment down below. Let me know that you want that. If you found this helpful, make sure to smash the like button. I love solar. I love being prepared. The Apollo solar generator has absolutely blown everything else out of the water. I absolutely am in love with it. I've talked to other YouTubers who are using the same exact setup right here with 2 Apollos and 2 batteries. They also said that they would not recommend any other unit above the Apollo. It is the #1 system right now to go with. If you want to get discounts on the Apollo and get extra customer support and get extra benefits than ordering anywhere else, then go to poweredportablesolar.com. That's my website. You can get all the customer service help you want just by contacting us, and we will make a kit with you customized to your setup. Or we have pre-made kits that are just right off the shelf. You order it, it's delivered, no problem at all. So whatever floats your boat, we're here to help. You can also shoot me an email to info@poweredportablesolar.com. Whether you're using 8 gauge or 12 gauge or 10 gauge, at this distance, it doesn't really make a difference. The most important thing is that you get prepared. For me, having backup power is a vital piece of equipment. I can run my well, I can have hot water, I can run my air conditioners, I can run my heat. It keeps us comfortable, which keeps us much better prepared. So make sure to be prepared, and I'll see you guys in the next video.